You know, I told you before, I think it's really, really a funny thing. When we set up for church, before we have church, I am, you know, asking the guys to set up. I am not the nicest person on Sunday morning. I'm a lot nicer doing service in the afternoon. The reason why is because I want things to look a certain way. And when I look around, you know, I see things, like I see the yellow cord there, and I think, I hate the fact that you can see that yellow cord right there. It drives me nuts. Now, you may not have ever even noticed it now that I pointed out, but it's all about the showroom floor. Okay? It's all about that. Why is that so important? It's important because excellence never goes out of style. It never goes out of style. It says, God, we care enough to do our very, very best. And we care about the people that we are trying to serve and that we are trying to help. And it's a very, very good thing. And then the last thing in your notes, and I'm going to put this in, and this kind of really goes along with that, is the most important person in Lee's Summit. Now this is huge, and this is not going to be what you expect. Okay? As we try to reach out, and we try to touch some folks, and as we move over to the new space over there, and we just start praying, God, help us to, you know, help us to reach out and do our best, is we have to keep in mind that the most important person in Lee's Summit, and this is in the minds of the people who live here, and this is very much the way this culture is in this town and many other towns across America, and I'm not saying that this is right or wrong, this is just the way that it is. The most important person in Lee's Summit are children. Our children. Parents cater to their children in a way that they do nothing else. And so where they take them out to eat, where they buy their clothes, where they go to school, where they go to church, they have their children in mind, maybe even a little bit more than them. Why is that? It's because children are the most valuable possession that people own. They don't really own them, but they're the most valuable thing that they have. And so they will do anything they can for those children. And here's what happens. Somebody comes in, they're trying out the church, and let's just say at the end of January, as we're having our relaunch, we've got a bunch of people there. We're actually praying that God, you know, on that first Sunday of the relaunch, God, if we could have 200 people there, that would be really cool. That's our goal. That means there's going to be a lot of visitors that are going to be there. And here's what's going to be happening. Is they're going to be sitting in church, they drop their kids off at Kid Connection, and the parents are sitting there and they're experiencing some of these things we've talked about. They're thinking, I like this. This is really good. And by the time it's getting to the end, they're thinking, wow, this is going to be my church. And they're loving it. And they're thinking, I hope my kids are having as much fun as me. They buckle up and they go up to kids, and here's how the conversation goes. Kids, how is Kid Connection? And the kids will tell them either they loved it or they hated it, and that's the determining factor right there where they go to church. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. That's just the way that it is, and it's huge. So you can see, those are some of the whys. Why we do stuff the way that we do stuff. And remember, it all ties back to what we said before. The why is because God, through Christ, wants to make peace with people, and that is why we are here to do that. Now, in ending, let me kind of describe it this way. Okay, there's one last little thing that I want to share with you. Think of the life-giving church. That's the DNA. Okay, that's just the way that we've got to be. We either have that or we don't. I think that we strive for that. And most of the time, I think we hit it. Sometimes I think maybe we don't hit it. I know sometimes I have not hit that. And God will slap me back and say, whoa, no, not life-giving, stop that. Okay? That's the DNA. The structure, that's like the bones. That's like the skeleton, okay? It's not about me. The serve attitude, that's the muscle that makes the thing work, that lifts the stuff, that makes it happen. The showroom floor, and the thing about the children, that's the skin. That's the outer layer of the skin. And all those things have to be working to make the body function in a way. But there's one last thing that we have got to have to make the whole thing work. And really, it's the trump card that trumps the whole deal. It's the ace in the hole. It's the thing that we can have these other things and we can work on them, and we do. We work on these things. We work on them to make them happen the way that they need to, and we can work on them and we will, and they're important, and there's reason behind them. But there's one thing that really breathes the breath into that body to make it function, and that was what I would call passionate spirituality. Passionate spirituality. Hunger. In other words, when I go to the place, is God there? Do I sense that God has got his hand here? And what does that mean? That sounds weird. That's kind of spooky. What does that mean? What is it? Here's what it is that the people that are there in that body, are they hungry for God? Is there a hunger? Is there a desire for God? I want my life to be more wrapped up in you than it is now. And I'm just here because I'm going after that goal. And that right there is what breathes the life into the whole thing. And I tell you what, here's something that is fascinating to me. It is possible. All those little things that I talked about, for us to do those and do them well, and not have that last one, and it would not be perfect. That last one is, I was sharing with the worship team this morning about God. It's really, this is the X factor. This is the issue, the life that is breathed into the thing. And that's something that you and I are on a journey together with, is just a passionate pursuit of our Savior who loves us. And in the next few weeks, before we go into the new space, as we're praying, as we're inviting our neighbors, our friends, that right there, if you could think about one thing and do something personally, that would probably be the very best thing that you could do for your family, for this church, is to say, God, I want to seek you like I never have before. I want to know you like I never have before, and I want to make it real. I don't want to go through motions. I want it to be from my heart, passion for you. So why do we do what we do? The why behind the what. It's all about God. It's all about Him. And it's all about those that need to know. Would you guys stand to your feet, please? And in closing today,